If there ever was a cover-up, there is one now, and it does not look good for certain individuals. Guys, this is a big, big show today. Some of the most breaking news that we have reported on this channel. Attorney General Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino are not looking good right now. A lot of people are looking for President Trump to give some insight on what the heck is going on. There's supposedly a scheduled conference, guys, happening later today over what has happened with the Epstein files, guys, the JFK files. The DOJ and FBI say they found no proof Jeffrey Epstein was murdered, kept a client list, and or blackmailed powerful figures, guys. This is the most mind-blowing bombshell news. We're bringing it to you today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, I want to repeat, the DOJ and the FBI say they have found no proof Jeffrey Epstein was murdered, no proof that he kept a client list, and no proof that he blackmailed powerful figures. We were told, guys, I'm going to show you the receipts. We got a lot of receipts today, got a lot of videos today, guys. We were told by Alina Habba that it was cruel and unusual what she saw with the Epstein files, guys. We were told also by Pam Bondi that she had the list on her desk over the Epstein file client list. Elon Musk has come out and blasted, guys, everybody and said, I told you so. He said there is incriminating evidence against high-level Republicans, and that's why they are not releasing any of the evidence, the Epstein file list, or doing anything because it would bring harm and foul to those in the Republican Party, guys. This is nuts. If there's a Pandora's box that's been opened, it is now. I want to know what you think in the comments, guys. Let me know. But now Elon Musk is putting everybody on blast for continuing to protect the deep state, not exposing the corruption. And again, everybody is looking to Trump, who's supposedly going to be saying something later today over the DOJ and the FBI, saying there's nothing involving with Jeffrey Epstein, which we know is a lie, guys. There is no way in God's green earth that there is no incriminating evidence against any person in those files. So we're bringing the breaking news for you today, guys, but also we have some amazing good news as well because we bring everything. We have new information of 2 new major bills coming for Americans to continue to supercharge the economy and put Americans first. This will include the creation of the External Revenue Service, which Trump has touted many times. They want to start reducing the size of the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. The new senior bonus is included for those on Social Security over the age of 65. They will include provisions to push no property taxes and provide federal aid with that and more. We have a ton of breaking news on this, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you want to see first? No property taxes, no federal income taxes, senior bonus, the External Revenue Service. A lot is coming. But this is, again, guys, some more big news today that Tom Homan, Trump has announced already this morning. Trump is vowing to double and triple down with Tom Homan on the sanctuary cities, guys. Moving forward, now they have the funding to remove every non-citizen. They said their goal was initially 3,000 per day to remove non-citizens from the United States. Now their goal is over 10,000 non-citizens per day, illegals from our country, and they said nothing is going to stop them moving forward. Not a judge, not money. They said we are coming. There's new estimates that not only including over the past 4 years, but for the past 50 years, there's estimates of over 50 million illegals in our country. And we now have more news of widespread voter fraud, including those illegals and non-citizens in big places that they have caught in places like Texas, guys, and Florida. That's why they've been trying to protect them. There's been more released, and we're going to show you all the names, including Democrats, judges, guys. It's worse than what we thought. But the new numbers are coming in also that over $1.3 trillion was spent on migrants in the past 4 years alone on healthcare, not including housing, food stamps, debit cards, you name it. There is a lot that is coming out today, guys. We got this breaking news for you today. We got the receipts. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want you here, so hit that subscribe button so that we can serve you every day with the top news. Guys, we bring the receipts. We show you things from all different outlets. We want to bring the truth to you. There is new lawsuits coming against the DOJ and the FBI now over these Epstein lists. Guys, it is insane what's going on, but we're here to bring you the breaking news. I want to say thank you to everybody that's given a super chat donation or is a member of the channel. Remember, that money goes towards donating to a local charity on the 22nd of every single month. Want to give some special love to Elaine Demeen, OG of the channel, guys. Show Elaine some love in the chat. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, guys, we got a big show for you today. Because not only is Trump vowing to double and triple down on sanctuary cities, guys, we're not talking 10 million. We're not talking 20 million. We're talking over 50 million illegal non-citizens are in the United States. Guys, this is insane what's coming out. Widespread voter fraud, including judges. Guys, you're talking about more Democrats. It is nuts what you are about to see, but we've got big news over the Epstein file list. What's happening now? The new lawsuits, guys. We are bringing the news to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check this out.
For another 2 minutes. Illegal crossings at the southern border have never been as low as they are right now. Tom Homan, our border czar, tweeting today, this is the Trump effect. Total Border Patrol encounters for the entire month of June 2025 was just over 6,000. That is less than a single day under Joe Biden on many days. As a matter of fact, the total number of encounters is less than half of a single day under Biden. Also, none of the 6,000 plus were released into the U.S. Zero. President Trump has created the most secure border in the history of our nation, and the data now proves it. I want you to compare that to what we were told under the last administration by their chief of propaganda, Karine Jean-Pierre, and it will almost make you laugh.
The president has done more to secure the border and to deal with this issue of immigration than anybody else. He really has. June saw the single largest month-to-month drop in unlawful border crossing because of the policies this president put in place.
What
KJP said that in August of 2023. We looked into this today. 4 months later, America set the all-time record for illegal crossings in a single month, with 370,000 plus illegal aliens crossing in the month of December in that same year, 2023. And even after that, CBS News tried to hide the truth like they always do. The headline, migrants crossed U.S. border in record numbers, undeterred by Texas razor wire and Biden policies. Oh yeah, they were just undeterred by all that razor wire and those really tough Joe Biden policies, right?
Guys,
Wrong.
And let me show you this. I just got to show you the wins because look at what Trump has already done for Americans, guys, for America. American jobs for American workers from January to June. Trump has already doubled the amount of new job gains by native-born workers, guys. We're not talking about illegals or non-citizens. We're talking about people that are citizens, native-born workers here in the United States. Trump is getting win after win after win. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Well, said they are illegals, not immigrants. Yep. Y'all show Tijuana Border Jumper some love in the chat. But this, again, too, guys, is a continued wins on what is coming next because they are doubling down on making sure that native U.S. citizens are going to win and that we're going to expose what was happening under the Biden administration.
That's a complete joke. This is what
Look
the
at
Biden
this, guys.
border looks like.
This is, oh my goodness, this is so hard to imagine. It's so hard to see. But if you appreciate us bringing the truth, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. This is insane that this actually happened to the United States. This is an invasion. This ain't just no people coming over.
Like for the better part of 4 years. Yep, wave. Welcome to America. Single military-aged men. It's pretty amazing. CBS also agreed to pay Donald Trump $16 million today. Did you hear about this? They also will issue an apology to the president for editing an interview with Kamala Harris on 60 Minutes as they tried to help her win the election. It didn't work. America didn't care. That famous lyric from Francis Scott Key proving true once again, but our flag was still there. But our flag was still there. It's my favorite part of that song, even if I don't have a good singing voice, because everybody in the arenas and in football stadiums starts to get exciting and cheer because people love America. America rejected Joe. America rejected Kamala. And America did exactly what she did 249 years ago in November. America voted for America First.
That is what I'm talking about.
Was he given a pardon, Mayorkas? Was he not?
I don't believe so.
Well, I take a look at that one because what he did is it's beyond incompetence. Something had to be done. Now, with that being said, he took orders from other people. But somebody told Mayorkas to do that, and he followed orders, but that doesn't necessarily hold him harmless.
You know, Tom, a lot of people don't realize what a bleep show you were inherited, to be honest. Do you think it rises to the level of criminality or at least, negligence at worst?
Look, I think it needs to be held accountable. I've said for 4 years, because for 4 years I've been complaining about the border, wake up every day angry at what they did to our border. And Alejandro Mayorkas knew exactly what he was doing. I don't care if he's taking orders from whoever. He's the Secretary of Homeland Security. The Secretary of Homeland Security, his number one responsibility is protection of the homeland. He knew public safety threats coming across that border every day. He knew national security threats came across that border every day. He used to sit on TV and say the border's secure. He says all these people were properly vetted. No, they weren't. We don't have access to criminal data from El Salvador and most of these countries, and the thousands of Chinese come across. And do you think the Chinese government has given us any national security information on the people that smuggled into the United States? Of course they didn't. He knew this was national security vulnerability. So let's say the president ordered him to do it. As the Secretary of Homeland Security, if he had a single ounce of integrity, he would have said, I'm not doing this, I'm quitting in protest, instead of just playing the game. So I think...
Guys, and again, that's what blows my mind is that we continue to see to a lot of people, this is just a game. And I have to show you this because, again, when you get frustrated just like me over what's going on, I want to show you the wins of catching the corruption. Massive election fraud scheme busted in Frio County, Texas. 15 arrested, including a county judge and a former mayor, guys. And guess what? Here's all their names. Guess what they were doing? They were ballot harvesting. They were counting illegals, guys. This is, look at this, 3 counts of vote harvesting, 2 counts of vote harvesting. All these people were trying to flip over Texas to try to bring, look at these people. I want to show you them, guys, because they were trying to flip over Texas and trying to turn it blue. And what blows my mind is that they can face now up to 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 if convicted. But this is the stuff that, look at this, 15 guys arrested, including county judge and former mayor. The Democrats said it wasn't happening. No, it's a lie. We have safe and secure elections. Bull. It was 100% happening. We're exposing it all, and we're showing you guys that they are still fighting to bring out the truth when it comes to our election integrities. Because no matter what, if we don't show this and people don't see that things are happening, they may lose faith in the system. But I'm going to show you what's happening next, guys, because I'm telling you, crap is coming out today, and it is hitting the fan, and it is bad.
Like that, people need to be held accountable for what they did to this country, because we're going to be dealing with the chaos for the next decade. And God help us. We know the sleeper cells here. We know people came across to do us harm. And God hope God willing, we can find these people before they do anything bad.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too, is if no one's held accountable. Leave, self-deport, do it on your own, or you could end up here. And it sounds like President Trump, if you do send him there, he might even be able to help you try to learn how to swim with alligators. Take a listen.
Snakes are fast, but alligators are big. We're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison. How to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%.
Trish, I don't know. Were you there yesterday with them? Did you weave so you didn't get eaten by the alligators?
There was no weaving by me yesterday, but it definitely is not somewhere I think anyone is going to want to escape from. But President Trump, Secretary Noem, and Governor DeSantis are absolutely right. No one has to go to Alligator Alcatraz. No one has to go to Guantanamo Bay. they should self-deport and leave now. The U.S. taxpayer is so generously offering those in this country illegally $1,000 to leave now and a free flight home. And that way they preserve the option to potentially come back the legal right way. But if
guys, and I just wanted you to hear that, guys. It's not just about, oh, we're going to we're just trying to kick you out. It's like, no, we're giving you $1,000 and we're also doing what? We're paying for your flight to leave home, to literally leave. And that's where, again, too, guys, the stuff that's coming out today, it's all like we're showing you some big American wins right now, guys. This is one of the biggest ones, but it just blows my mind that you still have so many Democrats that want to put immigrants before Americans. They want to try and say that this is so cruel and unlawful. Like, are you kidding me? This is what is right. When you see that Trump has already doubled the amount of people that are actually American citizens getting jobs, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm telling you, it gets even better. Listen to this.
If you don't leave now, we will find you, we will arrest you, and you could find yourself in a place like Alligator Alcatraz.
Now, seriously, though, I mean, obviously we joke, but the serious part of this is that this is a fully functioning facility. It's got air conditioning. It has medical facilities. It has, obviously, security. But it also, provides 3 square meals a day. And yet, if you listen to some in the left, they are comparing it and using the names that are linked to the most horrific, deadly places our history of our world has ever known. Take a listen.
Ron DeSantis is still governor of Florida. He took the Comfy Couch hosts on a tour of the concentration camp that he's building in Florida in order to round up brown people, and throw them in a camp because he doesn't want them in Florida.
Y'all hear this?
I believe Joy Reid's hair color has affected her brain, because that is not only incorrect, it is illogical, it is wrong with history, and to compare this to a concentration camp, I think is insulting to the millions of Jews who died, the families and those who survived. Trisha, what do you say to the folks who call these concentration camps?
Mark, it's just disgusting. And again, it's trying to vilify our ICE law enforcement to try and slow us down. DHS just announced yesterday that our ICE law enforcement are facing a 700% increase in assaults against them. That is staggering. People are doxing these ICE enforcement officers, their family members, putting their children at risk. It has to stop now. But further, these ICE detention facilities have higher standards than most U.S. prisons. So what Joy Reid is saying is completely false. Like you said, there's full medical care, 3 meals a day, good conditions. A lot of, homes in the United States don't have air conditioning versus these facilities do. So they need to know what they're talking about. And it is so dangerous, this hate that they are spewing.
Guys, again, and I'm telling you guys, I'm bringing everything today. I want to go ahead show you. So again, Trump to terminate deportation protection for some Hondurans and Nicaraguans. Guys, he's not stopping. Full steam ahead, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Guys, thank you so much for all your support. Guys, what you're about to see next is probably the biggest news to date over actually exposing the corruption. We already know there's new lawsuits coming out, new suits over the Epstein files list, because they've officially said that when it came to Epstein, there was no Epstein list, there was no people being blackmailed, there was nothing, and people are going crazy because they're saying there's no way, and I'm going to show you the receipts, guys, no way this is true. We're bringing you the news, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is about to get big, and a lot of people are looking to Trump to say something big. Listen to this.
Suicide when he was under Suicide Watch is very suspicious. However, the FBI has released what it says are the 10 hours of video footage showing no one went into his cell. So from the evidence we have right now, it does look as if what DOJ is saying is the truth. But once again, we don't have all the records, and what we've seen in the JFK case is more transparency is probably better, not less.
Tom Fenton, because on top of everything else going on this weekend, I just don't even understand the timing of this. although I think we can speculate, but I want to go to you for facts. You are really, I never thought I'd say this, Tom, but you were our Justice Department during the Obama years. You were on Breitbart Radio with me all the time, almost every day. We were putting lead stories up of what you guys were doing. I made a film about you guys. I made a film that actually starred you and your team, a district of corruption that I'm very proud of, that really went to the heart of what you guys do. And now, and people are so close to Pam and you know, Cash was a co-host here, right? And I made the film about Cash. I made the film about Tom Fenton, District of Corruption. I made Government Gangsters off the book Government Gangsters. Why did I make it off Government Gangsters? Because just like Tom Fenton, who was like Elliot Ness, Cash Patel was like Elliot Ness, and he named names and he had facts and he backed it up. And guess what? Nobody sued us, right? Because it was all facts. And of course, Dan Bongino is one of the greats in our movement. So Fenton, please explain to our audience what in the hell happened. What is this thing that came out last night, sir?
Guys, I want to prepare you for what you're about to hear, guys, because this is the worst news we probably could ever have heard from this administration, from the Justice Department, the DOJ, the FBI. Everybody's calling foul. Elon Musk is having a heyday because he's saying, I told you there's corrupt people and nobody listened within there's still deep staters, guys. And I really hope, let me know your thoughts in your comments in the comment section over this. Trump brought MAGA, okay? He with MAGA replaced Republicans. People identify as MAGA, not Republican, essentially. But Trump didn't change who was in Congress. He didn't change the deep staters or the elitists. They're all still in Congress right now. Elon Musk has just came out and said, I want to change who's in Congress. That's why I'm trying to launch the New America Party. Let me know your thoughts, because what you're about to hear next is a reason we have to clean out the deep state.
I don't know. I read the memo 3 or 4 times again this morning, and it's really, I don't think even the Biden administration would have written anything like this. I just don't think they could have thought they could get away with it. And I got to wonder what is going on at the leadership of the Justice Department and the FBI to allow them to think that statements like as follows. This is a classic. Of course, we're suing for this stuff, right?
All right, you just heard it, guys, because I showed you. I'm bringing you everything. New lawsuits have already been started to sue the DOJ and the FBI over what you're about to hear next.
And so they say the systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So there's a client list, but it's not incriminating, so therefore you can't see it. There is also no credible evidence that found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. Well, give us the incredible evidence. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. So they uncovered evidence, but it wasn't enough to predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
All right, guys. I'm telling you, I'm going to build this story for you, and I hope you appreciate this, guys. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, because what you're about to see next is I want to bring you full context over what they're saying and what has transpired. Alina Habba, who is one of Trump's closest people, look at what she says after this was a moments ago, like months ago, over when she saw the Epstein files.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Do you hear her voice breaking because of how bad it is?
Is it going to be shocking?
Listen.
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home.
All right, guys, so you just heard her say that. So now we've heard there's no incriminating evidence. There's no Epstein. No, there is an Epstein file list, but it's not enough to go after anybody. But yet you heard Alina Habba just say in February how bad it was. Now I want you to listen to this because this, I'm tying everything together, guys. Listen to this.
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think?
All right, key word, guys. Key word, billionaires. Okay? Alina Habba said it's really bad. Elon Musk said that there's billionaires on the client list. But this is what came out, that Jeffrey Epstein didn't have a client list and committed suicide. DOJ and FBI say in findings that they debunk the conspiracy theories. Yet, Pam Bondi came out and said that the Epstein client list was sitting on her desk. So now we're going back full circle, guys. I'm showing you the entire story of what has transpired and what is happening and what's about to happen next from Tom Fitton, who is now officially suing the DOJ and the FBI over what you've just heard.
You can go line by line and kind of, go through this analysis that I'm going through. It may be unfair or overly critical. But in my view, unless you have the records to back up the conclusions you've drawn in a case such as this isn't worth much. And it's disturbing. It was leaked to Axios. Second time there's been a leak to Axios, by the way, by this Justice Department and FBI. Remember, we sued for the Biden videotapes of his interview with her. We were in court, literally in federal court. They're stonewalling us. And what do? They give it to Axios. Here they give it to Axios. And this memo, by the way, it kind of drips with contempt for people like you, Bannon, for Judicial Watch, for anyone asking questions. Give us the document.
Judicial Watch. No, listen. I'd love Mark Caputo. We've had him on the show. We're going to have him on the show again because they leaked to him the Kennedy, the massive CIA leak, and John Solomon, the best. So you got Fenton, you got Bannon, you got Solomon. So hang on. So I have no problem with Mike Allen and Axios. It is the consensus thinking of the apparatus, okay? Also, some people at the White House are quite close to these people. So this was a well-thought-through leak to a super prominent, particularly late at night, more than Drudge. Everybody will read Axios on a Sunday night before you go. This is a Bombs exclusive. But I just want for the audience to be very specific. Judicial Watch and Tom Fitton are suing DOJ, I think the FBI. What are you suing about? Why is your suit so important to this? And this is kind of a response to your suit, brother.
Well, we saw the kind of this cluster with the release of the documents to the social media people, right? Many of whom are friends of ours, which is fine. But then they said, well, there were materials that were withheld by the FBI. So give us all the Epstein records. We want the death records. We want the stuff about what the FBI withheld. Talk to us about how that happened, and give us the records genuinely, quite broadly. And instead, it's been radio silence. It's been 3 months of no records. We haven't even gotten the file they leaked to the social media influencers. And in court the other day, I think I tweeted it out. I think they used the phrase exceptional circumstances.
Who is
order once? I guess the exceptional circumstances was they were writing a memo for Axios. So the court hasn't been told any of this. They've made the conclusion that we'll get no more documents, it looks like, or a good number of documents will be withheld. And what's good about the lawsuit is that everything that they're saying here, they're going to have to justify in court in no small measure. What records are you withholding? Oh, they're under seal. Let's talk about that. Let's describe what type of records are under seal, what records can't be disclosed because they're under seal, etc. Whose privacy would be violated if records were released. All the excuses they're making here, they're going to have to bolster in court. And memo or no memo, our lawsuit's continuing.
What?
Guys, and I want to show you because there's lots of stuff happening already behind the scenes. People are calling them out. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much. Lay Lewis for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Let's go. Show Lay some love in the chat if you got a free membership from her, OG of the channel. I love it. Elon posted and said, what's the time? Oh, look, it's no one has been arrested o'clock again. This official Jeffrey Epstein pedophile arrest counter still at 0. This was released, guys. This is federal FBI document. I'm showing you everything that's coming out now, guys. This is some big stuff. You can see in the line, I don't know if you can read it, but I'll read it for you. In line, in the red square, it says Epstein has also provided information to the FBI as agreed upon. Case agent advised that no federal prosecution will occur. So they're saying that, like, a lot of people are putting out saying, oh, we have documents that Epstein was an informant for the FBI. It's just not good, guys. But this is the official document that the DOJ and the FBI say they found no proof that Jeffrey Epstein was murdered, kept a client list, or blackmailed powerful figures. So this is the actual receipt, guys, from the FBI, the DOJ, guys, right here. We show you all the receipts of what's going on. This is nuts what we're seeing. But what's even more nuts is that a lot of prominent people are coming out and saying, guess what? And look, this is the actual where it was leaked. DOJ, FBI conclude Epstein had no client list, died by suicide. We know is a bunch of load of what? You already seen that Judicial Watch is already going to sue them. Listen to this.
No, but why have they not, just very simple, by the way, Pam Bondi, we covered wall to wall. I've known her for years. I consider her a friend. We're a huge supporter when Gates dropped out. She was kind of next man up. President Trump wanted her. Fine. Cash, it goes without saying, a co-host, almost like a brother to us. Dan Bongino, one of the heroes of our movement. So this is not personal. But why has, just because this is not my line of country also, why has DOJ not just done one basic thing and gone to the courts and say we want to unseal all the records associated with Epstein so the American people can see it? Why, and then release those? Why, this is supposed to be about the most transparent administration ever. Why has that not even happened? Why are they fighting that?
Because they're not going to be perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein. And no further disclosure will be appropriate or warranted. That's what they're telling the American people. All of the concerns you have about Epstein are all unfounded. And why are they unfounded? Because we reviewed the evidence we're not going to give to you. And concluded that there's no there. And there may be no there. But show us the records. And this just, again, shows contempt for the people's right to know. I've said it once, I've said it before. The Justice Department and the FBI are irredeemably compromised and corrupted. The leadership needs to understand that and act accordingly. I mean, the FBI moving to another building, that's nice. I tell you what, we've got 3 extra offices, maybe 2 extra offices at Judicial Watch. We can lend them. That's all they should need.
That's all they should have. That's all they need. That's all they need.
Shuts down the agency, and he's the only one there with a guy there to check his email.
Amen.
Guys, and again, remember, we bring everything full circle over what's going on, because if anything is you ever see, guys, remember, it's always tied to the money. We show you the receipts. Right here, guys, this is blowing up big time over Elon Musk exposed that some Republicans were in the crime of fraudulent NGOs, and they were blocked, and they blocked Doge from shutting them down. Listen to this, guys, because again, too, everything that you see here, nothing is by coincidence, nothing's intent. Like, the reason that they came out and said, and I can't even believe this is happening under our DOJ, that nothing happened with the Epstein list. There's no people that need to be incriminated. Are you kidding me? Thousands of people were sex trafficked, high-level celebrities, politicians, things like that, and nobody is going to jail. Nobody is being arrested. It's all because of what you're about to see next, guys, because we're pulling in all the context and all the facts.
Now, the size of it,
Yeah.
was when you guys first started investigating it, when you first get in, how much of it was shocking? Like just the size of it all?
Well, the size of it all, the small decisions result in multi-billion-dollar outcomes. So, we'd see...
Guys, in the context is, if you haven't seen it in the bottom left, and I don't know if you can read it, so somebody posted and said, which is why Republicans aren't dismantling the NGO networks. Remember, in the big beautiful bill, there's no cost cutting, guys. In all the stuff that we've seen thus far, they're not cutting out the NGOs. All the stupid spending that you're about to hear next, nothing's been cut out. Elon Musk says the fundamental impediment to shutting down many of the fraudulent NGOs was that some Republicans were in on the crime.
There was a case where we saw one person was getting $1.9 billion sent to their NGO, which basically got formed about a year ago and had no prior, no prior activity. So they just stand up an NGO. The whole NGO thing is a nightmare, and it's a misnomer, because if you have a government-funded non-governmental organization, you're simply a government-funded organization. It's an oxymoron.
Right. It's a loophole.
Yes. It basically, the government-funded NGOs are a way to do things that would be illegal if they were the government, but are somehow made legal if it's sent to a so-called nonprofit.
Guys, and again, too, I show you everything because we're tracking everything. When we look at what's going on, what's transpired, what happened with the 2020 election, no arrest. COVID, no arrest. Butler, Pennsylvania, no arrest. Epstein, no arrest. Autopin, no arrest. Benghazi, no arrest. January 6th, no arrest. Doge findings, no arrest. Russia collusion, no arrest. It's sickening that we have to report this, but this is why we need a complete reform. We need to replace the Republican Party with essentially true MAGA. Guys, the people, we the people have become MAGA, but not the people that are in Congress or in the Senate. Thune, Johnson, all of them, they didn't take out the Green New Scam spending. They didn't take out all the USAID and put it and codify it into law so that we don't spend that anymore. No, it's all still there. So all this facade that you see of, we're actually gonna put America first and stop wasting money. No, it's all still there. The only reason that it's not being done now is because Trump signed an executive order. But the next time that a Democratic president comes into place, and they will, in a heartbeat, just like Biden did on day one, they will sign 100+ executive orders, and they will undo everything that Trump has done that has not been codified into law. That's why what you're about to hear next is so important, guys, because if this doesn't stop, it never will. Jim Arnold, thank you so much for your support, brother. He said maybe the Epstein file deep sixing is how the BBB got enough votes to pass from a corrupt Congress. Boom! That is a wonderful, insightful assessment. Jim Arnold, show Jim some love in the chat, as well as Andy some love in the chat. Said Bondi is now covering criminal politicians in both parties and making excuses for them. Then she needs to be removed. Promises not meet. And welcome to the family, Kim Westbrook. I love it. Y'all show them some love in the chat. Listen to this, guys, because this is where it all comes from. Always follow the money.
Care of the American people, the very people who actually pay these taxes in the first place. It's time for a real change. America should not continue to be the world's piggy bank that are not just useless, but in many cases actively harmful. Taking the path to fiscal responsibility is often a lonely journey, but thanks to Elon Musk and Doge, they brought to light the waste that I've been highlighting for over the last decade. Every year I release my Festivus report to expose the ridiculous spending of the federal government, and this past year was no exception. I uncovered over $1 trillion in government waste, with the State Department and USAID being some of the worst offenders. Let me give you just a few examples of what these unelected bureaucrats are spending your hard-earned money on.
Guys, breaking news just came out 4 minutes ago. Oh my goodness, and this is confirmed. It's already happening, guys. If you appreciate us bringing you this breaking news and the truth, guys, please, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up like button. Charlie Kirk confirms there is a push for President Trump to sign a mass amnesty deal specifically for illegal farm workers. Number 2, we're going to show you this video in a moment, guys. Wow. Donald Trump saying they are working on legislation right now to provide mass amnesty for illegal farm workers. So Donald Trump himself has said that they are working on legislation to provide mass amnesty for illegal farm workers. What the heck? I promise you this was a deal that they made to get the big beautiful bill signed. 100%, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
$0.8 million went to Ukraine's public affairs office in Kiev to fund social media influencers. Instead of protecting our own border, $2.1 million was sent to Paraguay to enhance their border security. USAID also funded a group of Ukrainian women-led designers to travel to the Paris fashion show. I don't know about you, but I'd imagine Ukrainian women have more important things to worry about than appearing in the Paris fashion show. USAID spent $2 million on transgender surgeries, hormone therapy, and gender-affirming care in Guatemala. $3 million was spent to promote girl-centric climate action in Brazil. And I'd love to picture what a conversation about girl-centered climate action looks like. It's like, hey, Barbie, do you know what girl-centered climate change is? Since when do we believe arguments need to be tailored for girls to understand? How insulting to women at large that they think there are special arguments for girls to understand that are different than boys. $25,000 to fund a transgender opera in Colombia. Was nobody in Colombia willing to buy a ticket? USAID spent $32,000 in Peru to create a comic featuring a trans hero to address social and mental health issues. What does that have to do with diplomacy? $20,000 to fund a DEI program for a drag theater in Ecuador. $20 million was spent to produce a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. USAID spent $6 million to promote a project boosting sustainable tourism in Egypt. I guess the U.S. is now the travel agent for the entire world since they spent $50 million on Tunisia's tourism, even though it's already one of the most visited countries in Africa. USAID gave $87.9 million to help Afghans farm, and incidentally, farm poppy, the plant from which opium is extracted. As of 2021, Afghanistan supplied 90% of the world's heroin. I thought the saying in the U.S. was just say no to drugs. How about we just say no to wasteful foreign aid? $70,000 for a live musical event to promote diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in Ireland. State Department paid $330,000 to compile a disinformation index to blacklist conservative media outlets. USAID funneled over $54 million to EcoHealth Alliance, funding the very organization linked to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, the likely origin of the COVID-19 pandemic. Disgraceful. $15 million was awarded to Taliban-controlled Afghanistan to distribute oral contraceptives and condoms. There's still a $3 billion fund for Afghan reconstruction that have tried to take that money to pay for other things that the government is spending money on, and yet there's been resistance by the other side to deplete that fund and say, we're done funding things in Afghanistan. This is just the tip of the iceberg. These are taxpayer dollars being used to fund ideologically misguided, ineffective, and unnecessary projects, thanks to the blundering bureaucracy, while our own citizens struggle to put food on the table. This is not what our government was designed to do. The U.S. government is not a charity, and it should not be doling out cash to foreign organizations, some of which actively oppose the United States with no oversight. And we don't have the money to give. We're borrowing the money we send. We need to ask a simple question. Why are we borrowing money to send money overseas? Even if USAID eliminated the crazy left-wing grants for trans operas, it still makes no sense to borrow money to then turn around and send it overseas. Borrowing money to send as charity is like the worker who has no money left after paying for their food, rent, and gas, saying, oh, well, I see this homeless person, I have such great sympathy. I'll go to the bank and I'll borrow $1,000 to give to this person. That's what we are doing. We can't pay for our own, and we are borrowing the money we send overseas.
Guys, this is just mind-blowing. The breaking news that's literally happening as we are doing our channel, guys. If you appreciate this, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to show you this, guys. Elon Musk has come out and said the America Party is needed to fight the Republican Democratic Party. And he posted this, or he reposted this. U.S. debt rises irrespective of who is in the White House. So no matter whether you're at the bottom, you can see blue and red. No matter who's in the White House, the debt goes up. The money keeps flowing. And now it's like I'm seeing more stuff, guys, that a deal essentially was made with certain moderates in the Republican Party, these rhinos, to get the big, beautiful bill passed, was to grant mass amnesty to illegal farm workers so that those farmers don't lose their hands. And that's what they're called. They're called like hands but now it is coming out and a lot of people are furious. Holy smoke. So now today, two things have happened. The DOJ and the FBI have failed America, and now everybody is questioning Trump on what the heck is going on, bro. You promised to get every illegal immigrant out of here, but now you're making a deal. Now you're putting forth legislation so that illegal farm workers can stay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Andy, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said, Trump does, myself and the whole family are done. Trump does, myself and the whole family are done with MAGA joining the American Party. Let's go. Y'all show Andy some love in the chat, guys. I cannot believe I'm about to play this video for you, but this is the breaking news. This is the truth. We bring the receipts. This is what's happening in America. Something is wrong.
As I am doing this broadcast, and this is bigger than anything with Epstein, this is bigger than anything with tax cuts. It is happening right now in Washington, D.C. And I can say this from firsthand experience, that people are pushing President Trump for amnesty. They are pushing him for mass legalization of illegals. Now, President Donald Trump, of course, would never push for amnesty, but President Donald Trump said something at a rally on July 3rd, and my phone lit up like you wouldn't imagine. President Donald Trump was talking about potentially doing a bipartisan compromise deal for illegals that have stolen Social Security numbers, that are illegally domiciling themselves here in the country, that are all felons. Every single one of them are felons. They're just not yet indicted felons. But if they're here illegally, you're a felon. It's against federal law. We've gone through all the different federal laws that you break by being here. And this is President Donald Trump speaking at the Iowa rally saying that we might need to do some form, he didn't use the word amnesty, but some form of soft amnesty. And I could tell you now, through other reporting that I've been able to do and phone calls, there is a major push right now to do a bipartisan amnesty deal, a major push. People are trying to push the president. Hey, you got the money for ICE. Now we need to go move to the middle on immigration. Play cut 258.
People have worked on a farm for 14, 15 years, and they get thrown out pretty viciously, and we can't do it. We got to work with the farmers and
right there. Oh my goodness, guys. What the heck is going on? Guys, this is real. This isn't no scripted Fox News outlet of what these advertisers want us to say. No, this is real reactions that this is happening. Legislation, I'm seeing it on my feed. Legislation is happening. That Trump is making a deal with farmers and with Democrats to give amnesty to farm workers' hands to keep them here in the United States and grant a mass amnesty. What do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We're bringing you the receipts. You just heard him say people have been working at working at the farm with farmers for 10 to 15 years, and they're being pulled out very viciously, and that can't happen. We're going to do something about that. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this truth, guys, we bring you the truth. I don't care who it's against. I'm America first. I'm for bringing the truth. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
People that have hotels and leisure properties too, we're going to work with them, and we're going to work very strong and smart, and we're going to put you in charge. We're going to make you responsible, and I think that that's going to make a lot of people happy. Now, serious radical right people, who I also happen to like a lot, they may not be quite as happy, but they'll understand, won't they? Do you think they'll understand that? You're the one that brought this whole situation up. Brooke Rollins brought it up, and she said, so we have a little problem. The farmers are losing a lot of people. And we figured it out, and we have some great stuff being written, and let the farmers be responsible.
Let the farmers be responsible. Look, I trust President Trump's instincts 100% here, but there is a group of people that are pushing President Trump very hard to stop the deportation effort and to try to have some sort of a come to the table moment of a bipartisan compromise. That we need to try to figure out how to make these people have a pathway to citizenship. Now, this is not by any means a knock on President Trump. It is a knock on people that are trying to pressure President Trump and pressure him hard. We don't know any of the details, but President Trump did say that the radical right people that he has a soft spot for wouldn't like this. Hello, hi, I'm one of those radical right people. And I want to know what I'm not going to like. Because of all the different stuff that's in front of us, if you want to break our coalition, go and push amnesty. That right there would be a complete collapse of everything that we have worked for. Everything. So we don't know any details, but it looks as if President Trump might be in preliminary discussions. And I could tell you that there are many different discussions that I've had with people, and they are pushing it hard to create some kind of amnesty proposal aimed specifically at farm laborers in the United States. But it's more than that. It could be hotels. It could be leisure properties.
Yep.
We've heard the arguments about this for years. Well, the crops are going to rot in the fields. There'll be starvation. But here's the main thing that you need to know. We've tried this before.
And it didn't work.
This is not some sort of new thing. And by the way, just so we are clear, I went to an event this last weekend in San Diego. JD Vance was there. And another person came up and said, Charlie, do you know what we need? We need to have some sort of pathway citizenship for 25 people. I said, are you guys on all some sort of group chat or something? Are you guys all just coordinating? We have not even 48 hours of the largest investment in border security, deportation, and ICE. And why are you pitching me on mass amnesty? Like, what is that all about? There's a lot of reasons for this, and one of which is the corporate class is deathly afraid that they might actually have to hire Americans and pay a higher wage.
Yep, that's it.
Somehow,
guys, I'm telling you, it always goes back to the dang money. You can hire, and trust me, guys, like, I've known people in the past that they've done this before, and that's their business. But it's like you can hire an illegal immigrant for $10 an hour. They don't have to pay taxes because you pay them in cash under the table. You don't have to, remember, because as an employer, if I employ somebody, I've got to pay 6% taxes on that person. That person's got to pay 6% taxes on for FICA, for Social Security and Medicare. And then they have to pay additional taxes for federal income taxes and or state taxes depending upon where they live. So if you're illegal, think about it. If you're illegal, I don't have to pay 6% taxes. You don't have to pay 6% taxes, and you don't have to pay federal taxes. I can pay you $10 an hour versus if I hired an American, I'd have to pay him $20 an hour or $25 an hour. So I'm saving a lot of money if that's the route that they go. And that's what they have been doing for God knows how long. So this is a big, big deal, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because you can't, this is like saying all the right things to get voted and then trying to have your cake and eat it. And I just don't think it's going to resonate with most people. El Prophet, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said, I'm sorry, but that's not a bad idea. They work really hard. I don't doubt that they work really hard. Those are hard jobs. Tammy Ash, thank you so much for the super chat. Said all illegal immigrants should be sent home, no exceptions. Come in the right way or no way. Y'all show Tammy Ash and El Prophet some love in the chat.
Countries are able to grow food without imported serf labor. How are they able to do that? I don't know. Apparently, we have built so many parts of our economy to be reliant on foreign criminal invaders that have come into this country. And some people, we have to allow farmers to transition. No, you deport them back to their country of origin. All of them. We did not run on mass amnesty. We ran on mass deportations.
Guys, okay, so again, lots of confusing statements that are coming from everybody, but I'm showing you everything. This is Tom Homan, who just this morning came out and said we are going to double and triple down on sanctuary cities. Listen to this.
Mr. Homan, Zoran Mamdani, the likely next mayor of New York City, has promised not to cooperate with you or with ICE or with deportations of any kind. Do you have a plan? Is there a plan to work around that? How are you going to handle it?
Good luck on that, because we're going to be in New York City, and President Trump said it 2 weeks ago. We're going to double down, triple down on sanctuary cities. Why? Not because they're a blue city or a blue state, because we know that's where the problem is. We know they're releasing public safety threats and national security threats to the streets every day because they don't honor our detainers. We know that. We don't have that problem like in Florida, where every sheriff in the state's working with us. So where we're going to send our assets, we're going to send them where the problem is. Sanctuary cities. So I've said it before, we'll flood the zone of sanctuary cities. If they don't let us arrest a bad guy in the county jail, they're going to arrest him in the community. We're going to arrest him at a work site. So we're going to increase community operation. We're going to increase worksite enforcement operation. We're going to get the bad guys. So if they don't want to help, get out of the way. We're coming to do it.
Mr. Holmes,
all right, guys. So you hear that. Again, going after the bad guys. I want you to hear what Johnson is saying about all the things that are coming up next, guys. Because again, too, this is the guy, whether you like him or not, who is leading the charge, making the deals. And I promise you, I would put money on this, guys, that Mike Johnson made a deal with certain rhino moderates that if they voted on the big, beautiful bill, that he would work on legislation. Because remember, he has to bring it to the floor to be voted on to grant mass amnesty to illegal farm workers and or hospitality, hotel workers and whatnot. Listen to what he says right here.
America. You had critics within the GOP, we'll talk about them, but clearly Democrats are not fans. You just heard Congressman Khanna, which I know you're friendly with him, describe what's going to happen in this bill. Here's what DNC Chair Ken Martin said. Donald Trump and the Republican Party sent a message to America. If you are not a billionaire, we don't give a damn about you. 17 million Americans will lose health care, over 5 million will lose food assistance, and millions will lose their jobs. Voters that we talked to in our latest poll very much think that this is going to hurt their family. Put the numbers up there. The largest group says not going to be good for them. You heard what Congressman Khanna said. It's going to make health insurance higher. People are going to lose the assistance they need. And so even if there are tax breaks built in for these different groups, the net offset is a negative.
I love my friend Ro Khanna, but he and the DNC chair there are sharing old, tired talking points. This is what they say every time there's Republican legislation having anything to do with taxes. They are overlooking the actual facts. All that is nonsense. Shannon, what we did in this bill is we made permanent the 2017 Trump's tax cuts, and that was geared for lower and middle class Americans, in spite of everything they said. The bottom 20% of earners saw their lowest federal tax rate in 40 years. Now we're building upon that. We just made that permanent, and we're building upon it because now we cut tax on overtime and tips and had more tax relief for seniors. And we're giving everybody a tax cut, and that's going to help the economy. It's going to be jet fuel. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, risk takers, the people that provide the jobs, manufacturers, farmers get assistance here, and that will lift the economy. The Council of Joint Economic Advisors is expecting a 3% growth rate in the economy. That will be incredible. They're expecting 4 million additional jobs to be added. The average American, the typical American household, will have $13,000 $1,000 more in take-home pay. This is a great thing for people who go to work every day. They're going to feel that. And we're excited about the upcoming election cycle in 26 because people will be riding an economic high just as we did after the first 2 years of the first Trump administration. This time it's on steroids.
We'll get to the political implications of that, but you talked about these being permanent and across the board. So I want to play something from Democrat out of Maryland, Congressman Glenn Ivey. Here's what he said.
It's given with one hand and taking away a lot more with the other hand. And, you know, some of the tax cuts that they put in place for working class people are time sensitive. They expire in a couple of years, whereas the one for the wealthiest Americans are permanent.
So what about that point that some of these are not going to be permanent for working class people?
No, I don't think he read the bill. It's 940 pages, so I would give some grace on that.
Well, if he was listening on the Senate last Sunday, they were reading it.
Yeah, you're right. For 19.
Guys, let me tell you this. There's two things that are popping off right now on X. Literally trending exponentially. Rhino removal project, and the words no amnesty over what's happening currently. Breaking news, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. We just want to bring you the breaking news. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
Hours or whatever it took. Here's the thing. If you make between $30,000 and $80,000 a year, you're going to have a 15% less federal tax rate. You're going to save more money. You're going to keep more of your hard-earned money, and that's not going away. So by making all these tax cuts permanent, it's the largest tax bill, the most important, most consequential tax bill that Congress has ever passed because of what it does for people who go out and work hard every day. We're going to make it easier on them, and all the other pro-growth policies in this bill. We also, at the same time, achieved the largest savings for the taxpayers in U.S. history, about $1.6 trillion in savings. So all those things are going to have a great effect. By the way, in the bill, we're also going to secure the border permanently. We're going to return to American energy dominance again, which is going to also be jet fuel to the economy. We're going to take care of peace through strength because we're going to give important investments in our military industrial complex, which will help us in our competition with China. There is so much in this bill. It'd be difficult for us to cover it in one segment, but people are going to feel that, and we're super excited about what we were able to deliver.
Okay, so the vote to get the bill actually to the floor broke a record. For hours, that vote stayed open. You had a number of GOP holdouts who said there was no way they were going to vote for this. They were very worried about spending and Medicaid cuts and all kinds of other things. And yet they came around. So the question becomes...
And right there, guys, what she just said, there was literally, I remember 20 people that said they were not going to vote for the big, beautiful bill. And then with a matter of an hour or 2 hours, they all voted for it. I promise you, deals were made. People make deals in Congress all the time, and now we're seeing the fruits of it. No Epstein list. Nobody's being incriminated for anything having to do with the Epstein list. Guys, this is like as Twilight Zone as you get. And then we also have it where there's legislation that's going to be brought forward to grant mass amnesty to farm workers and to hospitality workers for illegals, guys. This is crazy. Like, guys, this is the breaking news. We're bringing it to you today, guys. Deals were made. I mark my word, guys, that this is just the beginning of what's coming. Because I promise you, more crazier stuff is coming.
What deals were made? There are a couple of members who've said they were given assurances outside of this bill of other things that they would get down the line.
I don't make deals, never have, since I became Speaker, which is why I'm still surviving with the gavel, right? You have to find out where people's red lines are and navigate through that with what we've had as the smallest margin in U.S. history at most points along the way. But we got it done. No side deals. What the extra time was, we needed that for people to process it. Remember, we got the Senate bill on a Tuesday. They modified a lot of what we did in the House. We worked on for over a year. So we needed a couple of days there for everybody to process what all those changes were and ensure that they knew exactly how that was going to be implemented by the administration. So the president, the vice president, cabinet secretaries were engaged in these discussions, answering questions. It was a full team effort, and that's how we got it over the line.
Okay, so Congressman Keith Self said that there had been promises for other offsets outside the bill itself. You talked about Congressman Chip Roy. He said their reconciliation bill you've said there's going to be more of that.
Yeah.
He said, referring to promises that Johnson and others said that they would pursue outside of this bill.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about that publicly and privately for a year and a half. We have always planned to do the first big reconciliation bill, which is the big, beautiful bill. Now it's done a huge leap forward for our priorities. But then also we've been planning a second reconciliation bill for the fall that would be attached to the next fiscal year, and then potentially one in the spring. That's my plan. 3 reconciliations bills before this Congress is over. I think we can do that. And so you'll see more of us advancing these common sense principles to deliver that America First agenda for the people. That's what they elected us to do. And this was a huge leap forward.
So Democrats say they are excited to run on this bill.
Yeah, right.
A DCCC memo obtained by Axios says Republicans are going to lose the majority in 2026 because of this. They call it the GOP tax scam. They say the more that people know about it, the less that they like it. They're also talking about Democrats holding rallies outside of rural hospitals and nursing homes this summer to tell people that they are going to lose their care.
As I said on the House floor the other day, it takes a lot longer to build a lie than to tell the simple truth. Our Republicans are going to be out across the country telling the simple truth, and guess what? It will be demonstrated. Everyone will have more take-home pay. They'll have more jobs and opportunity. The economy will be doing better, and we'll be able to point to that as the obvious result of what we did. So don't buy into those false talking points.
All right, you've got some polls to overcome. We'll see if the messaging...
Guys, again, it's just like, man, stuff is coming out over this immigration stuff. The whole guy, the guy in New York winning over, like the stuff that I'm seeing, guys, is that in New York they have a ton of illegal migrants. Deals are being made where those people are going, a large portion of those people are going to be staying there. The guy Mamdani is trying to win them over. Then this is just like mind-blowing what you're about to see next. Thank you so much. Glow said, if you want Joel to notice your comment, then at TrueLife News so he can quickly see it. Yes, please. Because, guys, we got a lot of comments going through at TrueLife News, and I'll be able to see your comment a lot faster rather than you just typing it out, okay? Thank you so much. But listen to this, guys, because there's lots of things that are moving, and I'm telling you, we're starting to see the full picture.
Kevin O'Leary. Kevin, you know, just the threat of Mamdani. Of course, the general election is not until November, but just the threat of him running as the Democratic nominee has already driven down real estate prices. We have been losing population in New York City because of the previous mayor. We lost hundreds of thousands, and a lot of them were big-time taxpayers. So the city couldn't afford a socialist mayor, could it?
No, it couldn't. In fact, what you're talking about is the most important topic here, policy. New York's in trouble. People are concerned about its ability to live there because of weak policy for decades. Highest tax jurisdiction in America, with in some cases, with the exception of the police, which are outstanding, both the state trooper and the NYPD, the services are mediocre at best, and yet people are paying the most for them. Now, policy matters a lot, and policy I'm hearing from this particular candidate. Remember, politicians come and go. It's policy you care about. And certainly this politician will come and go, but let's just take one example. New York needs housing. I'm a developer. I would love to develop in New York. I'd love to get a permit. I'd like to be able to compete in the open market. But he's talking about rent controls. That is the death of that project before I even bid on it. And so this has been tried before in other countries and in other states in the past. It doesn't work. There's a reason socialism doesn't work. There's a reason people came to America to escape it. It's called the American dream.
Right. Well, he's going beyond rent control to seizing. He's talked about, you know, the Marxist theory of seizing the means of production. So, I mean, I think all bets are off for New York if he's elected. Next one, Elon Musk. Of course, he's launching his so-called America Party. It was in response to President Trump signing the big, beautiful bill, but it also seemed to be, there was a lot of animosity between the Trump and Elon. Not so much from Trump, but specifically from Elon. What's up with that? And the stock, by the way, is way down today as a result of his announcement, down over 7.5% right now.
You don't have to tell me I'm a shareholder. I've watched this volatility because of politics. Here's what I think about this idea. Bad idea. Here's what has to happen. Trump and Elon have to get back together again. Frankly, I'm thinking of calling both up myself and saying this is stupid. Yeah. It's stupid for everybody. This is bad for America. We need the #1 industrialist, the most advanced in technology worldwide, working with the most powerful man on earth. It doesn't matter about politics anymore. It matters that these two are working together. These are giant egos, and it's not good for America. It's just bad. We don't need a third party. Ross Perot tried that. Bad idea. It's all bad. These two guys have to get together. I'm not the only person that feels this way in his inner circle, where everybody knows this is bad.
You know, people like Mamdani are all over America, and they're waiting for the opportunity of Republican Party to get split up by a new party, and it would be just what the socialists need.
Well,
guys, oh my goodness, guys, the stuff that is coming out, this might be cause for the America Party, guys. I'm telling you, and we're bringing full context. So I just seen it over here, that the people pushing for the mass amnesty deal in the legislation, upwards of 10 million people granted amnesty for that are farm workers, hospitality, waitresses, waiters, things like that. Almost 10 million. It's like 9.7 million. Guys, 9.7 million mass amnesty to non-citizens illegals for some deal that was made. And Trump is actually on board with this. Where do you stand at, guys? Trump is literally on board with this legislation that they're now putting together for mass amnesty for almost 10 million illegals that are here and working. Let me know your thoughts on the party. How do you feel about, like, what the heck is happening to MAGA? What the heck is happening to America first, guys?
I want to make a comment about the bill that set Elon off. I read those 900 pages. Not many people have. I read them. And I want to do a shout out now because this bill is about supporting small business in America. And Elon really felt that his task, his mandate, was to cut costs. And then he saw the fact that trillions were added to the deficit. What I don't think he understands is this is what it took to get the tax base anchored, which was so important. And a shout out to senators that were so important in this. Ron Johnson, Rick Scott in Florida, and it's Bill Hagerty. I work with them for small business. They have your back, small business. These are great, great lawmakers, and they worked on this bill for us. And I think at the end of the day, Elon doesn't think that through. We need him to understand you have to give and take in politics.
Wow.
We'll work on the deficit next, but the way we solve for it is small business grows in America. 70% of the job creation. Thank you, senators, for that.
Yeah.
So we're seeing it, guys. Like, we're seeing history in the making. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, we just want to bring you the truth of what's going on. They're bringing up and a lot of people are talking about what happened in 1986 whenever they granted mass amnesty, and it didn't work, guys. This is all about people do not want to pay higher wages to farm workers or to hospitality workers because they're getting such a good deal with foreign workers, non-citizens, illegals. Like, guys, you can't make this stuff up, what I'm about to show you next. Because again, too, this is the receipts that right now in LA, they're having a crisis right now because illegals, non-citizens are not showing up for work and they don't know if they can stay open. So all this pressure is mounting on Trump that if he does not, and this is happening all across the United States, if he does not grant mass amnesty, that it's going to bring down the economy. Illegal aliens working under the table for LA hotels aren't showing up. LA hotel owners are sounding the alarm that the $30 minimum wage for legal citizens and residents will result in mass closures. Democrats claim they are for the workers. But guys, this is nuts. And this is popping up all over now. This is probably the reason that Trump's getting all the pressure to grant almost 10 million illegals citizenship. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is big, big breaking news. We're showing you everything, guys. Want to say, if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We want to serve you every day with the top news. Join our family, guys. Remember, this channel is more than just reporting the truth. We want to be a channel that gives. So whenever you give a super chat or whenever you're a member, we take this money and we donate it live on stream on the 22nd of every single month to a local charity. And guys, we have thus far given almost $40,000 to local charities in the past 9 months. And I'm so thankful for everybody that supports us. We just want to continue the giving. Want to give some love to those that are given today. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you so much. Fred Samuel, Lay Lewis for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Jim Arnold, Kim Westbrook, Andy, El Prophet, Tammy Ash, B1 Sly One. Guys, show them some love in the chat. Big stuff is happening. We're here for it. We're going to support you and make sure you know everything. We love you. Thank you so much for liking and sharing our videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.